Hey, what's up, Street Talks? Eric from the Eric Street Photography blog. So, I just wanted to do a quick review of the new Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. First of all, disclaimer: I am sponsored by Samsung. I did get this smartphone for them for free. But I'd have to say, out of all the smartphones I've used, it is by far the best smartphone I've ever personally used, both in terms of photography and also just practical day-to-day living, I suppose. The first thing you'll notice about the S7 Edge is it has that crazy little edge thing here. So the screen kind of wraps around. And at first, when I saw the edge, I thought it was just kind of gimmicky. I was like, what's the point of that? And what I've actually found the benefit of this edge is that it allows for the camera or the phone to have a bigger screen without it being more bulk in your hands. So even though the screen on this is actually bigger than the S7, I could actually kind of reach everything with my thumb a lot easier. It also holds, it feels fantastic in my hands. Also, one thing that they've done, which is pretty awesome, is they've reduced the bump of the back compared to the original S6. So there's just less things for you to worry about. I think I got this in like some sort of gold color. But anyways, feels fantastic in the hands, feels really solid. It's also waterproof, which is insane. Even though there has all these ports here on the bottom, you put it underwater and it's submerged, your camera's not, your phone's not going to die. And so when I went to my friend's wedding in Hawaii recently, I'm just out swimming with Cindy and taking photos of her under the water and as she's learning to swim. And that was really fun. Also, practical things. I know a lot of you guys probably use the phone when you're on your toilet. You probably shouldn't be, but just in case you dropped into your toilet, your camera or your phone's probably still going to be alive. And one of the things you guys might be most interested in is how's the camera of the S7? I would actually say the S7 is a significantly better camera than the S6, and the best camera to compare it at the moment is probably the iPhone 6s or the 6s Plus. Having seen both of the smartphones, I would say the iPhone has better skin tones overall. The Samsung phones tend to saturate the images quite nicely. And in terms of image quality, I would say actually the S7 has slightly better image quality, especially when you're shooting a low light. The S7 Edge, or it has the same camera, the S7 and S7 Edge, has the best image quality low light out of any other camera that I've seen. Also, of course, the selfie mode, improved camera there, so it makes for really strong selfies. One of the coolest things that I actually really love about the phone is, so you can see how minimalist my screen is at the moment. If you want to open up the camera really quickly, you could just double tap the home button twice and it automatically turns on the camera. And the one thing that's also very useful about the camera is there's different modes. So you could actually shoot RAW in this camera and it freaking works pretty well. To access RAW, you go under Mode, then you click Pro, and under the settings, you could actually enable it to shoot save as raw file, which is insane. So it'll shoot essentially a raw plus JPEG. And let's say you want to take a photo, so I'm going to take a photo of myself here. And once you've taken a photograph, there's actually a way to edit raw files on your smartphone now, and it's through Google Snapseed app. So let's say you open up Snapseed, open up Photos, and look at that lovely photo I just shot of myself up here. Choose that. Raw photo editing is now available. Man, the internet or the modern technology is insane. So you click next here. Yep, done. And what you could do is develop the raw images. Oh man, this photo is ridiculous. You could do is you could adjust exposure, highlights, shadows, contrast, structure, saturation, temperature, or the tint. So for exposure, you could drag this left and right till you kind of get to what you think looks good. Highlights, drag this left and right. Shadows, left and right. And contrast, left and right. And once you kind of think something that you like, you could just press the plus in the bottom right corner. You can also change the white balance here. Change the white balance. So, as shot, auto, sunny, cloudy, whatever it may be. And I mean, essentially, I see this as an awesome trend. If you want to see the before and after, you just press this, before and after, and you can just click plus, and it'll just save the raw file. And after you've played with the raw file, you could do further edits. You could click here, let's say I prefer using the grainy film preset, grainy film, and you could just choose one of these presets and click plus. Let's say you like it, you can just save it, and boom, you could share it to social media or whatever. I think ultimately this is kind of a game changer because for a long time smartphones weren't able to shoot RAW, and there weren't actually any RAW image editing software available on the phone. But with new cameras like the S7, other new smartphone cameras on Androids, and you can shoot in RAW and edit, it's pretty insane. For me, I just found the JPEGs honestly to be pretty solid already. So in my practical use, I just open up the camera app and I just use the automatic settings. For those of you photographers who like to do more post processing, RAW would be an amazing option for you. And I'd have to say the colors and the image quality that come out of the phone are incredible. And keep moving forward into the future. I'm sure we're going to get to a point where you're not really going to be shooting with any other phone cameras except a smartphone. And let's say if you're a professional, then you'll get a huge DSLR. Everything in the middle will probably eventually disappear, except for maybe like the Fuji and the Leica cameras or the Micro Four Thirds, which kind of look retro, and people will buy it just because they look cool. But in terms of practical day to day, I love the smartphone. The battery lasts me a full day on one charge, which is a game changer. Also, taking photos of selfies, sending to friends and family versus via Kakao, Instant Messenger, and it's out. I think out of all the smartphones out there, for Android, I think it's by far the best Android smartphone you get out there. And the question that probably a lot of people are going to ask is, should I get the S7 or the S7 Edge, or should I get the iPhone? I think it just comes down to which operating system you prefer. If you prefer iOS and the simplicity and minimalism of that, I'd go for the iPhone. And I think when you compare Android and iOS, because I also own an iPad, I think iOS is actually a better, more simple, clean software. Android is awesome, but it tends to bog down and get slower as new versions come about. And also, Android phones tend to be better for people like me who are a little bit nerdy who like to do like crazy customizations. And so for me, I've even installed the Nova launcher on my phone, which allows me if I just drag down anywhere in the middle of my screen, it shows up there. Or if I push here, then all my apps here are hidden. So Android just allows for a lot more customization, whereas iOS, you're pretty much everything works, but it doesn't allow for a lot of customization. So once again, it just comes down to your preference in terms of your iOS. All the cameras, both the S7 compared to the iPhone, they're both amazing cameras. And I think moving forward, yeah, I might end up shooting more with my smartphone. And the other camera that I use most of the time digitally is the Ricoh GR. In terms of the image quality, this still blows this out of the water. But let's say if I'm going to the beach, and I might put the phone in the water, this is easier. Or when it comes to shooting selfies, and also practically speaking, when it comes to shooting just family photos or selfies or things I want to quickly send to other people, there's nothing better than a smartphone because you could quickly click and then send it to other people. Whereas shooting with a digital camera, pain in the ass, you have to shoot it, download to your computer, then you have to email it afterwards. So nowadays I'm using the Ricoh for more my quote unquote artsy photos, and for family snapshots you can't just beat a smartphone. And I'm sure by the time I upload this video, this is going to be totally irrelevant anyways, but all I just want to let you guys know is shooting with smartphones is incredibly liberating. There's a lot of freedom. A lot of people say, oh, if you shoot with a smartphone, you're not a real photographer. Some of the best street photographers I know only shoot with smartphones. And it's small, it's always with you. You get instant feedback, shared to social media. And I think it's empowered a lot of other photographers. So know that there's no shame in using just a smartphone. So anyways, Galaxy S7 Edge, give it a huge thumbs up. And of course, disclaimer, I got the phone for free from Samsung. They've also given me free products in the past, so I'm probably definitely biased. And I'm also Korean, so yeah, go Korea. And at the end of the day, I'm also an Apple fanboy. I'm recording this on a MacBook Pro. I have an iPad, and I think at the end of the day, just use whatever is best to you. And if you have a smartphone that's a little bit older, and you're wondering whether you should upgrade, my suggestion is if you use a smartphone primarily as your only camera and you don't want to buy any other camera, then I think it's worth the upgrade. And just sell your own phone on Craigslist or wherever. The technology is moving so quickly on smartphones. and the cameras do keep getting better. So, I mean, it kind of sucks, but you kind of have to upgrade to stay relevant nowadays, at least with smartphones and technology. But at the end of the day, use what you have, be happy, and yeah, enjoy yourself. All right, until next time, guys. Peace out.